Welcome to Northern Lights. I'm Dwain.
I'm Mark, and today we're going to be talking about the welterweight division in general. What's next for competitors, and where does that leave? We've just come off a massive welterweight bout of Masvidal and Covington. Obviously, Covington got the win, dominant victory. But now I'm thinking, where do you think that leaves Masvidal before we get to Colby?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I feel like we've been looking at Masvidal with tinted rose glasses, haven't we? Because he got that amazing knockout over Askren, that dominant win over Nate Diaz. You think, wow, he's amazing. What an elite level striker. And then his last three fights, is it last three? Yeah, last three fights. He's proved he doesn't really have the chops. I don't think he'll ever be champion. I don't think he's got that in him. So I don't think he's in that race anymore. I actually think I think he'll probably fight Conor or someone like that next. I think he'll fight a big name. I think he's a big pay-per-view star himself. What's the point of him fighting Luque or Mike Chiesa? What's the point of that? So I think you give him these sort of exhibition bouts. Put him against Nick Diaz, maybe even Nate Diaz. No, yeah, maybe even Nick Diaz. Bring him back out again. I feel like there's something that can be done for him, something interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think with George, it's who you put him against that's the exciting at this moment anyway. Because I know he's like you say, we kind of had the rose tinted glasses on maybe because he had a really good 2019. But it's who he's against that could make it real interesting. Obviously, with Colby, they had the chemistry. With the first Usman fight, it was the 6 days notice. The second, this is the rematch with a full training camp. With Colby, they had the backstory of the good friends, bitter enemies, all that kind of stuff. Next, the only one I thought would make sense would be Leon Edwards, but I think he's next in line for Usman. So
yeah, he's fighting Usman.
But what you said earlier about Conor, I think they're just rumors online, but I think that'd be really interesting. But I'd think they both really need a win.
Yeah,
and
100%.
The one who loses, I know Masvidal's just re-signed with UFC for multi fights, but whoever loses, maybe that'll project him so far
really
down.
makes that momentum, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe not Conor, because let's face it, Conor could be on a 20-fight losing streak, and Dana would still put him in the main event.
Maybe someone like Robbie Lawler might be good. I think that's kind of the level he could fight at. Two good strikers. Lawler's a little bit older now. He's sort of winding down his career, but he's a good threat, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be good to see, but when we get to the stage, what we're just doing now, where we say, well, it'd be an interesting matchup, but it's probably going to project Masvidal to keep him in that relevant talk. That's when I feel it gets a bit too much like WWE sort of thing, where you start pushing certain people. But obviously, we're not matchmakers, are we? But sometimes you see fights and you go, you kind of know why that were made.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, to see how Masvidal's fought against these wrestlers. If Ben Askren hadn't got knocked out in that first round, what would have happened? I think Askren had just mauled him, right? They just got hold of him and choked him out. Surely, So it's so interesting. Like, bring Askren out of retirement. He's still got a couple of fights left on his contract.
Yeah, and just
could you imagine Masvidal versus Askren 2? That'd sell like fucking crazy. Actually, that'd be mental.
That would.
I mean, yeah, sell
that
a
really
lot.
Would. But imagine if he does it with the other knee. It'd just be crazy, wouldn't it? I mean, that spinning back fist of doom isn't really going to affect Masvidal, I don't think. Sorry, I know he's your boy, but I don't think Ben's going to have it in him.
No, poor Ben. He's fucking rich,
So Dustin was called out by Colby, even though Dustin's previously said he'll never fight Colby in the UFC. But I think you kind of get what Colby's doing, because he probably knows that he isn't next in line for the shot. He doesn't deserve it just yet. And look, I'm a Colby fan, but it reminds me of what Jake Paul's doing, where he's throwing names out there, creating a buzz around that, and because obviously that'd be a money fight. And if Dustin would come up, I don't think it'll happen, but I get what he's doing.
How tall is Dustin? He was about 5'9", isn't he?
I'm not too sure, 5'9", 5'10", but I know Colby's 5'11" because it's the same as Masvidal.
Yeah,
But
so
I think that would be a mauling.
definitely, I think because Dustin used to fight at 145, and he's big. He's he's not a tiny guy. Lightweight, he's fairly big, but I just think he'd just get ragged around and get battered fighting Covington. Covington.
Yeah, I mean, but for Colby, I really wouldn't like to hesitate a guess as to what's next for him, because you look at the division now. Number 2, Gilbert Burns. 3, Leon Edwards. 4, Luque. 5, Muhammad. They've all got fights lined up, and it doesn't make sense.
He's got no one to fight, has he? And
it doesn't make sense for Colby to fight like a number 11 ranked or something, because it doesn't deserve that. It's it does deserve to be right up there, but they're all booked up.
That's the thing. If all Colby needs to do is sit and wait now, really. It's what he did last time. When he lost to Usman the first time, he just hung back, waited. He had, one fight? He fought Woodley in between then, and then just waited and then got his rematch. And it's kind of what he's going to have to do again, I think. I think if, whoever fights Usman next, and then probably whoever fights him after that, then you'll probably get Colby again. So he's got to just sit tight, maybe fight someone like Poirier, even Nate Diaz. I keep throwing out Nate Diaz, but he feels like he's just like, let's just throw Nate out, get him battered.
Hey, Colby and Nate would be something that I'd be really interested in seeing. Again, I couldn't see them making that, but that's one of them. If it was made, and when I get it off Facebook where it's got like the 2 people there and it's UFC, whatever the number is, that'd be one of them. I'd grab it, send it ring you. What do you think of this? This is happening. It's actually happening.
It'd be a huge buzz, wasn't it? Yeah.
That would be, yeah. But I mean, I think Nate, he's got one fight and he just wants out.
Yeah. But it's funny, isn't it? Masvidal and Covington. Covington beat Masvidal, but they're in the same position almost. We've been throwing out the same fights for them. You think, well, that shouldn't be happening. If the number 1 contender wins his fight, he should get another title shot. But he can't get another title shot, can he? He's lost twice.
No. A trilogy doesn't really make too much sense when someone's lost twice.
Yeah.
There's a couple of circumstances, like the featherweights, but that's another subject. But looking down the rankings as well, though, Dwayne, obviously number 2, like I said, is Gilbert Burns. Now, there's that hype train behind him that's coming up.
The Cumshot Express.
Well, yeah, number 11. Now, I'm 1 foot on, 1 foot off the hype train. If he can dismantle Burns, maybe not even like, a first round finish or something. If it's decisive, then I'll be, 100%. He should get a title shot. I think he's going to be champ. I think he's going to do this and all this other wonderful life bollocks.
I wonder why Burns is taking this fight. He's ranked number 2. He's got nothing. He's got nothing to win out of this. If he loses, that's it. He's fucked, isn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, his last win was it Wonderboy? That was on the Conor Dustin card.
Yeah,
that was his last win, and I think you're right. I mean,
it's a bad decision by him.
If he loses, that's him. I can see that being like in the prelims after that. It's which is a shame because I actually like Gilbert Burns. Some people say
it's the prelims of a fight night. That's what that is, Matt. Prelims of a fight night.
Jesus, no, you don't want to dwell into that Holly Holm territory now, do you? But I sound like such a freak.
She was the best in the world at one point, Mark.
Yeah, I know, but you get what I mean. But
yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's going to be a real challenge for Khamzat because. Yeah, everyone's Khamzat's amazing. He's done all this. He's done all that. But he hasn't really fought anyone with a big name. Not really. Not to that sort of level. Yeah, he fought Li Jialang, but just like he wasn't at that level anyway. I think he was was he ranked like 12th, 13th? Yeah.
But it's how convincing he did it. The first round, he literally picked him up when not even a strike was thrown, held him for a couple of seconds, walked over to Dana, just planted him down, and then just sat on him. And then ended up getting him in a choke.
I'll give Lee a bit of benefit, when he was getting choked, like it felt like he was clinging on for as much as he could. You thought, Hamzat's really, really having a go at this to get him out, to choke him out at least. So at least he had that for him, I guess. But yeah, I just want to see, can he beat Burns and can he do it convincingly? I think if he gets a decision, I don't think he puts him up to that level. I think if he gets a decision, he'll be like, be fighting Chiesa or Luce or somewhere in that sort of category.
Well, I'm looking here at this. I'm not saying for Hamza. I'm just saying in general. There's Sean Brady. Actually, forgot about him.
Brady versus Hamza would actually be quite good. I think that's a good step up for him. But
I mean, if he beats Gilbert Burns, Hamzat's way past all them.
He's fighting Usman. If he beats Burns, he's fighting Usman next, isn't he?
If he does it and comes out unscathed, that could be a summer matchup for Colby. Maybe.
No. Colby will not fight Hamzat. He won't do that. It's not worth it for him because, like I said before, if he just sits and waits, beats up Dustin, he'll get the next title shot after Usman's defended it twice.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost one of them where when someone's creeping up, you go, well, I'm this huge star, I'm number one ranked sort of thing. And you're like, but there's this train coming up and it's almost shit or get off the pan because someone else is coming to take it. And if you're wanting to sit and wait and this guy's ready to go.
Then if Hamzat loses, then what? He goes back, he probably stays where he is. He might go up, fight like Chiesa or Brady.
But we've seen hype trains derailed a few times, haven't we? Johnny Walker, Kevin Holland.
Yeah, for sure.
We've seen Sean O'Malley get derailed, but, we're still on that somewhat. But the welterweight division in general is it's fairly interesting. But like we said, there's that little block in the top 10 where they're all booked out. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vicente Luque and Bilal Muhammad, I hope Vicente batters him. It's not a hatred. It's just, I like a wrestler. I like their style. I think
he's not even a good wrestler, is he? He's not exciting.
Just so boring to watch. I think just Bilal in general. Bilal, let's never remember the name Muhammad. It's boring as tits, honestly. But we'll see what happens. I do quite like Luque though.
Yeah, definitely. So if Luque beats Bilal Muhammad, he'll probably get the title shot next after what? Because is it confirmed yet that it's Edwards versus Usman? It's not confirmed.
I'm pretty sure Dana has said he definitely
said it's not written down.
Yeah, he's been on a tear for a while, hasn't he? And
he's got to be there too next, doesn't it?
Yeah, surely. I mean, he's already beat him. I personally think that'll just be a battering, and I think that's easy money for Usman. Not taking anything away from Leon, but I think.
When did their last fight? It was a while ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago, but I just think Usman's untouchable, to be honest.
Seems that way. Well, Gilbert Burns dropped him, didn't he? In the first round.
He did, yeah, but how well rounded he is to recoup, and
100%.
He had him on the floor, and Usman starts kicking him while he's on the ground, and eventually, he didn't like them. That he wanted to get back up from them.
I would like to see Usman fight, a high level striker, someone like Wonderboy, and see how he deals with that. Of course, he could just hold on to him and just push up against the fence, and that's what would happen if he did fight Wonderboy, surely. But if someone gets him with a good strike, nice precise strike, they could take him down. Because if Burns can do it,
no one's unbeatable. That's the thing. It's at the end of the day, it's fighting, and the champion wouldn't want to take a punch off the 50th ranked in a division. You know what I mean? Because it can happen. It's just, but I mean, Wonderboy is really good. I mean, in that last fight with Bilal, did you watch it?
I watched bits of it. I watched the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, that'll have been fun for you. Bilal Muhammad's highlights. But
lasted about 10 seconds long.
Yeah, I know. It's just that's it. Yeah, but it's you watch that and you almost feel like, because you know how slick Wonderboy is, but because Bilal's such a grapple heavy kind of fighter, you almost feel like Wonderboy couldn't get going.
Yeah, definitely.
As in which is, it's sad when you see that. Maybe even shares of this weekend with Masvidal and Colby. You almost feel like Masvidal couldn't get going to make it
That'd be a good fight.
A proper fight, you know.
Wonderboy versus Masvidal, that'd be a fun fight, actually.
Yeah, because they had a fight
before.
before.
Oh, yeah, they fought before, hadn't they? Yeah.
Wonderboy by decision, but that'd actually be a good, interesting matchup, to be fair.
Yeah.
For where for Masvidal to go, because they're both similar ages. They're both, I wouldn't say seasoned, but you know what I mean, as in veteran. I would say seasoned, actually.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of that same sort of level. I think it'd be a good fight now, especially if Masvidal's, certainly improved his striking since their last fought.
Mm-hmm.
What I remember more from that fight, actually, is Bisping and Masvidal arguing beforehand. And Bisping says, Wonderboy's going to fuck you up this weekend. That's all I remember.
Bisping always loves to get involved, doesn't he? I mean, he'll have still been active then, won't he? But
he was.
Even more so now. He still does it. I love Bisping. But did you mentioned something interesting earlier, that apparently Whittaker may come down to welterweight again?
Yeah, well, Whittaker, that's the thing. He's lost to the champ, and that's it. He's a great fighter. And what does he do now, right? He's in that same spot that Covington and Masvidal are in, but in a different division. He can't fight the champ again, and he's beat everyone else in the division.
Torres the only one that'd make sense, or power, or Betty. But
I think he'd batter Vettori as well, and I think him coming down a weight, because he used to fight at welterweight, right?
Yeah.
But I think he used to struggle to make the weight, but maybe now he's probably got a better dietitian and stuff, got more money to do it. I think it'd be a good weight for him. He's the exact same height as Usman. They're exactly the same height. The Usman probably looks a bit wider than him anyway, so I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think he'd have to come down and fight, I don't know, Gilbert Burns maybe, Bilal Muhammad, and then fight Usman. So that'd be ace. I'd love to see.
Yeah, I mean, with the etiquette that he's built up, it's not as if he'd be starting from scratch.
Yeah, definitely.
You come down, prove, and then
go. A champ, and a dominant champ as well, and then only lost to the new champ. You've got some real stock to your name. So if you go down or up a division, you get a title shot after a couple of fights. Like, look at Mike Chandler. He came from a completely different organization. Battered Dan Hooker, got a title shot. That's how it goes, isn't it?
There's a few things, like, obviously you could say this at any point in the year because, fights are just continuous. But say with Kevin Holland just coming down, he did, Charles Oliveira. No, Cowboy Oliveira.
Oh yeah, not Charles Oliveira. What am I talking about?
Yeah. He's just finished in, so he could maybe be a prospect. Obviously, at middleweight, it was kind of touch and go. He was doing well, but obviously, welterweight, see how it goes. But I think for Kevin Holland, it's a bit too early to be talking about him in any of the top tens at the minute. It's just got a little bit more to do. And
I think he lost that first round. He was getting tagged a bit. He got took down. Like if he went up against, I think even if he went up against someone like Michael Chiesa would probably do him in. So I think he's got to really get that wrestling game down, which is great. He's training with DC and stuff, and I think he's got good potential.
There's like Neil Magny. I'm just having a look through the rankings now, but essentially, Dwayne, like we said, they're all paired up for quite a while. And then there's just the odd few that we're just sort of picking off and saying they'd be a good fight for so and so. But you kind of do that, though, don't you? You think like as if you're a matchmaker, saying this would be good, this would be a really good fight. But
what they should do, the UFC should just do a Royal Rumble, just get the whole division in, all batter each other, throw each other on the top of the octagon, and then whoever wins gets to fight Usman. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean it's all good until there's just Cowboy Cerrone stood in ring because no one wants to touch him.
Imagine.
Or Bruce Buffer wins it with a Money in the Bank cash in.
Well, I think that'll probably do us there. Thanks for watching. If you can subscribe, and do all that good stuff, it really helps us out.